Namaste, Aho, Shalom. I'm Cyndi Wallace, and I'm bringing you Psychic Cyndi Corner. I thought it'd be a great way to start the new year off by hearing from you and answering some of your questions. And also doing a little astrology. I've been doing metaphysical work for over 45 years, and I'd like to share my talents with you and bring a little insight when I can. So we're going to start off today. I do have some healings from people that have written in. There's a couple of people that have the flu really bad over the holidays, and I'm sorry for that. We have Donna and Craig that are sick together, sharing the fun. And we have Sharon that has the flu also. And special healing to Betty, and goes out also to Brenda. We ask the light of Great Spirit above to bring healing, well-being, and peace to these souls as we visualize them in good health and good grace. We know that perfection reigns on the other side, and we ask that this perfection be brought down to this plane at this time to heal these souls. Aho, in great blessing. So, a healing has been done. And if you want to write some names, I think I can see them on the prompter, and I'll get to those also. So we're going to try to do this every month, and if you want to send your questions to me beforehand, please do. You can text me at 301-831-8947. That's 301-831-8947. 301-831-8947. And you can email me at goldicyn, goldicyn, at AOL.com. And I'll get your questions and we'll do them, okay? Because the prompter goes a little bit too fast for me to pick up questions and get snap answers. I'm not that good. Anyway, we got a lot of questions for the holidays. I was surprised. So I'm glad that you want to participate. We're going to go through the zodiac right now, and I'm going to cover everybody's astrology, and then we'll take the personal questions. So we're going to start with the Capricorns. You poor babies. And I know because I am one. Capricorns, you have gone through, since 2007, a little bit of hell. You have Pluto in there. Pluto is the destroyer and the rebirther planet. So in 2007, it left the poor little Sagittarians and went into Capricorn. It's still in Capricorn, and it will not leave until 2023. So we still have a little time. But the good news is that Pluto deaths first, and then it rebirths. So the Capricorns right now are in the deathing. No, they're not in the deathing stage now. You were in the deathing stage for about the last 10 years, and now you're going into the birthing stage, rebirth. So that's good. I mean, if you have 5 more years to go, at least you're rebirthing, right? Now, as if that's not enough, you have Saturn right now. In December 19th, Saturn went into Capricorn. So that's another heavy hitter. Saturn is the planet of definition. It defines, and it, kind of sobers you up to see what's real and what's fantasy. And that's kind of no fun either. So right now, Capricorns are enjoying the last 5 years of Pluto. Plus, they just got Saturn in their sign for 2 years. Saturn is going to bring in more responsibility, and it's going to bring in more work. because Saturn rules work. And then you get a little bit of, kind of softness there with Jupiter in 2020. Jupiter will be in Capricorn, so you're going to have 3 major hitters in Capricorn, but Jupiter will mitigate some of that energy. Right now, there are 5 planets in Capricorn. So in January, this is some good news for Capricorns. You might have a wonderful month, very social, very alive, very happy. So those 5 planets are, eventually going to move through the year, but January should be a great month for Capricorn. So I hope if you are one, you're getting a little relief out of this. There were some good Capricorns in history. Elvis Presley was one. I think Diana, Princess Diana, and Jesus Christ was a Capricorn. And Paranaganda. Then you have always the yin and the yang. So you had some lowly Capricorns like Richard Nixon, and there were a couple others. So the next sign is Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. And Uranus right now is in Aries. So that means that the Aquarians have been trying to free their lives up, being in Aries, maybe wanting to learn a lot, read books and take some classes and things like that. Uranus rules electricity, it rules windfalls, so the Aquarians may want to, play the Powerball. And then in May, the Aquarians are getting a big change. Whenever you have the big planets moving out of a sign, you always get a new chapter in your life. So the new chapter is going to be that the Aquarians are going to get Uranus in Taurus. And all the Tauruses are going to get that too. And what that means is ups and downs, like a roller coaster ride, with things like real estate. You might want to sell your home. It rules eccentric people like me. It rules people that like astrology and those kinds of things, metaphysical. Hi, Susan. Hi, Judy. So the Aquarians, you're going to get a big change in May. And then Uranus is going to retrograde back into Aries for a last time, then go into your sign for 7 years. So you haven't had a lot of stuff going on in the last couple months. So this is going to be good for you. And, new chapter on your way. Now in 2023, and I know that's a far away time, but you're going to start getting the Pluto in your sign, and it's going to oppose Leo. So what the poor Capricorns are getting right now, Aquarians soon will get it too in 5 years. But you can ask all the Capricorns that were still standing through it. We'll help you through it. I want to get a t-shirt one day that says, I survived the Pluto transit. I think that would be a good one. Anyway, the next sign would be Pisces. And all you Pisces out there, you're ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of the sea, if you remember the Greek myths. It rules the sea and the ocean and the murky depths. So a lot of times, Pisceans are not real good decision makers. So you really need to develop your intuition, because if you don't, you're going to be very wishy-washy with decisions. Now, the men, for some reason, are a little worse than the ladies are with the Piscean energy. So they really do need to learn how to meditate and, follow their instincts and follow their intuition. But the ladies are a little bit better, but they tend to be a little bit more bossy and controlling. Not all of them. I mean, Mother Teresa was a great Pisces, and they're full of sacrificial love. So what's happening in Pisces now is that Neptune, the ruler, is in Pisces. And I forgot to tell the Capricorn, Saturn is your ruler, and Saturn will be in your sign. And whenever you have the ruler in your sign, it's very powerful. It just like kind of doubles up all that energy. So in Pisces, you have your ruler now in Pisces. It's at 11 degrees. And so it will be there for a long time, maybe like 5 more years. But Neptune promotes your dreams. It's good to have water by you, or maybe you have a need to go to water, or maybe you have a need to go to the beach, or maybe you want to just put some fountains in your home. But it does rule water. So that would be a good thing to have around you, and it promotes your dreams, although Neptune does not resonate as well on the Earth plane as it does in the solar system. So sometimes Neptune can bring up confusion for the Piscean or anybody. It's kind of like sometimes you feel like you're looking at your life in a bell jar. So that's why it's a must to... Hi, Cyndi. Hi, Brooke. I'm glad you're watching. Kisses. Happy New Year. Sometimes that's why you have to really start meditating, especially Virgos and Pisceans. Virgos are so analytical, and Pisceans are just, again, kind of clueless. So you have to develop that intuition. But Neptune and Pisces will be strong, and it will be in there for a while. So that's going to be good. The next sign would be Aries. And Aries are getting a big change too. You're ruled by Mars. Get up and go. Let's do it. They sometimes love to start projects, don't always like to finish them. But it's a good old sign. And if we didn't have our little ass kickers like Aries, how would this world be? At any rate, you're getting a nice big change too, because Uranus will be leaving Aries, and it's going to go into Taurus. And when that happens, you're not going to have that sense of, I want to be free. That Uranus in your sign for the last 7 years, all you Aries, you have just wanted to be as independent as you can. You don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, you don't want to be told by nobody, and it's it's been fun, but it's almost over. You're going to have to get back to brass tactics now and dissolve some of that independence that you've been having for the last 7 years. But I think your Mars right now, if I'm not mistaken, is in Scorpio. So that's a lot about work, and you could have changes in your work, more chutzpah in your work, more driving force, wanting to start new projects, that kind of thing. So good luck to you. It's a good change. It's coming in May. You'll finally get rid of Uranus, and all the Taurians will get it. The next sign is Taurus, ruled by Venus. What a lovely sign to be ruled by. It's full of love and beauty and art and all the beneficial things that are great on the earth plane. Taurians, you're going to be getting Uranus. So for 7 years. And Uranus, Taurus rules family. It rules home, family, the mother, you know. And so, you know, you could get changes in all of these things. You could buy a new home. It rules real estate. So you should do very well. It rules the stock market. So the stock market is going to be on a roller coaster ride in the next 7 years. I'd be careful if you have stocks and things like that. The last time we had Uranus in Taurus, we had the big gold changes 84 years ago, around the turn of the century. So I'm not exactly sure what they did with the gold, but I know there was a big gold change. So we could have, you know, some economical changes with Taurus and Uranus and Taurus. It does rule money, you know, and how you make money. So play the Powerball. It rules windfalls. So for 7 years, you Taurians are going to get, you know, a fun thing. It's fun. Uranus is fun. It's a power monger. It's energy. It's freeze. It frees people up. So, you know, you may have some burdens that you've been carrying that you want to be freed up on, and that's what's going to do it for you. So, good luck there. The next sign is Cancer. And you poor Cancers, you've gotten exactly what the Capricorns have been going through, so you're poor babies too. Cancers are ruled by the moon. They're very sensitive. If you have a Cancer moon, I know a couple people that do, you're so sensitive and you can be so psychic. I would do anything you could to meditate and develop your psychic senses, because you know, the moon, wow, it governs the emotions, you know, and changes every couple days. So Cancers are always, you know, busy at something new and exciting. But Cancer is such a soft sign, and so with the moon there, like I say, when you have moon changes, moon phases, you're going to be very sensitive. When there's a new moon, or well, I think on the new moon you should go out and meditate. And in Wicca, they used to do that all the time. They would have their Wiccan pagan groups, you know, right on the moon changes, because and in the American Indian culture, women would find that they would be the most sensitive at a new moon or a full moon, and they would go off in the woods and meditate and be still with self. So the moon is, you know, very, very psychic, and the Cancers have been getting that Pluto thing. Capricorns have, remember I told you, Pluto in their sign. Well, Cancers have gotten the opposition. And what that means is that if Capricorn is at 12 o'clock on a clock, then Cancer is 6 o'clock on the clock. So you see, you're getting that opposition. So, you know, again, I'm sorry to say it's not going to end until 2023. But you're in the rebirth stage now, not the deathing stage. So Pluto is still transforming, but alike with the Capricorns, by 2023, you're going to have a whole different life. And the reason why it's been so grueling is that Pluto moves very, very slowly. You know, it's a nasty little planet way out there, and it moves just very, very, very slowly. So that's why it's been so grueling for so many years for Cancers and Capricorns. The next sign is Leo. I love Leos. Leos are ruled by the sun, vital. Your health is always probably good. You're friendly. You know, you love your friends. You'll do anything for them. The Leo men tend to be a little flirty and charming. There's nothing wrong with that. We need our charmers on the earth plane too. Actresses and actors are usually Leos. They know how to be witty and charming, and they act very well. I don't know any actors that are Leos, and maybe you do, but they do make good actors and actresses. Leos are going to get that opposition of Pluto in 2023 that I was telling you about with Seamus says he's a Leo in Scorpio moon. Okay, all right. Well, you're gonna get that Pluto thing that I was telling you about in 2023. It'll be the opposition of it, and your Scorpio moon, you're gonna have Jupiter coming off it, on top of it. So that's gonna be nice for you this year. We'll get to Scorpio. Hi, Kathy. Kathy's a Capricorn, I know. She's been slugging it out with me. She's my twin and very psychic also. That's how I got psychic, by the way. I mean, everybody is psychic, but when you're a twin, you're especially psychic because you're sharing that womb for 9 months, and twins usually have that language, They kind of have like a twin language. So for when we were little, Kathy and I had a special language, and that's why that psychic awareness occurred. Hi, Shelley. So for the Leos, you're ruled by the sun. You're so vital and so carefree, and you will get the Pluto thing, but all the Cancers and all the Capricorns will help you through it. My sister Donna's a Leo. I'm going to be helping her through it. But you've had a rest for a while, and I think it's good when you get a rest, astrology-wise. I mean, can you imagine if we had the heavy hitter planets all the time through our signs, just one after another? I think we'd be in insane asylums. So sometimes we do get a rest from these planets, and I think Leos have had a rest. Hi, Martha. Hi, Judy. No, I haven't done Gemini yet, so we're getting there yet. Yeah, we did miss Gemini. I'm sorry. Geminis are ruled by Mercury, and they co-rule Mercury with all you Virgos out there. So just like Taurus co-rules their ruler Venus with Libra. Geminis, you've had a tough 2 years, and so have Sagittarians, because you've had Saturn in your sign. And Saturn, it wakes you up. It's like somebody pours, cold water on your head. It's like sober time. Any illusions you had about anything are just gone. It's like what you see is what you get. So Geminis had the opposition of Saturn for the last 2 years in your sign. It just finished December 19th. So you should have a glass of wine and relax, because you're not going to get Saturn again for the next 30 years. Yay. And all you Sagittarius, the same thing. Now, Sagittarius got the conjunct, which means the hit. But what is opposite Sag is Gemini. So Gemini got it too. And so that's why now with January, Capricorn's getting the Pluto and the Saturn, the Cancers will get that as well. So thanks for reminding me, Judy. Virgo, you're getting a rest right now. However, I think, well, Mars was just in Virgo, so I think you've had a lot of activity through the fall, through September and in October and a little of November. So, trying to think. Oh, you have the Neptune opposition You have a Neptune opposition going on in Virgo. The Pisces are getting it, the hit. But remember I told you about, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock? If Pisces is 12 o'clock on a clock, then you're getting that opposition. So Virgos are getting, that opposition of Neptune, which again, kind of makes you confused at times, and it makes you depressed at times. It's not the happiest of planets. Jupiter's the best. But Neptune, if you get near water, that will help. If you get to, or put fountains in your house or something like that, something that denotes water, you're going to do much, much better with this transit. But Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and we just had a Mercury retrograde, and we have them 3 times a year. So that's not so much fun. You know what everybody knows what a Mercury retrograde does. It screws up schedules. You never want to do anything with your hair. I almost did something with my hair, and then I thought, oh no, it's a Mercury retrograde. It'll come out like hell. So I'm not going to do it until next week maybe. But the Mercury retrogrades are hard. What it does, it pulls you through a review, and you have to review the last 8 weeks. Now, some people think Mercury retrogrades just last 6 weeks. They don't. They last a lot longer than what most people think, only because Mercury has to get back to the place it was before it turned around, you see. So, a lot of people think it's only 6 weeks. It isn't. It usually takes sometimes 8 to 10 weeks to go through a Mercury retrograde, and you Virgos get it 3 times a year. So, poor babies. Anyway, it's over. It's over now. So you can relax and now have a glass of wine too. The next sign is Libra. I know a couple Libras out there. You're ruled by Venus, and Venus is a lovely thing to be ruled by. Always love, always fairness. Libra is the planet of fairness. It's about law. It's about a balance. If you came back as a Libra, it means that you didn't have much balance in your last life. So you had to come back and learn balance. It co-rules Venus with Taurus. For the Librians this year, I think you're getting quite a rest. You just had Venus in your sign, so your fall could have been full of love and light and laughter and good things like that. And you also had Mars at the same time, so could have been a lot of good sex and love and a lot of movement, and it's out now. I think it's going into Virgo, and it's I think going into Virgo now, and then Scorpio. But it should have been better for your money, so that should have been good. So right now I think you're getting quite a rest, and that's good. You want to welcome the rest, because when you're hit with those big planets, you go through quite a lot. So enjoy your rest, Libras. The next one is Scorpio. Now the Libras had it good 2 years ago. For the last 2 years, 1 year, you had Jupiter last year. So that should have been very good with money and stuff like that. And now Scorpios have Jupiter. Scorpios are ruled by Pluto. And as I told you before, Pluto is right now transiting in Capricorn. Scorpios are going to get some of that Capricorn. And by the way, Capricorn rules government. And you know about draining the swamps? With Pluto in Capricorn, that's what's happening. And a lot of Capricorns right now are getting indicted for women's interrogations and problems with women. So if you look, most of them are Capricorns right now. You know, the bad Capricorns, not the good ones. But it's interesting that when signs go into different houses, planets go into different houses, that it does change the atmosphere. Now, right now, Uranus is ruling the United States. It's the ruler, so that's why we're going on a roller coaster right now. But it's been rocking and rolling with Uranus there. And with Pluto there, we're almost going to get more shady stuff coming to the surface, because Pluto, you know, kind of wipes a pen like a Brillo pad, you know. It's like a flashlight, and it just comes into darkness and exposes the dark. So we're going to get a lot of that. I predict, I think Anne asked for some predictions for the world, so I might as well get into some of that. We're going to have more exposure with Pluto in Capricorn. It's going to be fun. People that you never expected. And also, we're going to have some natural catastrophes. I can't say it. We're going to have some natural catastrophes, especially around California, Washington, I'm afraid, and Oregon. So all you people, you might want to build stronger structures to your homes because it's going to be a little brutal. And I think 18 and 19, all those faults are starting to activate. So we've been looking at that for many, many years. So it's about time. I wish it wasn't, but it is. Hi, Zoha. Hi, Christina. Love you. The next sign is Sagittarius. Oh, poor babies. You've been so beat up for the last 2 years. Oh, but you're over it now. That's the good news. The Sagittarians are happy people. You're ruled by Jupiter. Yay. I want a bumper sticker that says, when I come back to this earth, if I do, I want to come back as a Sag. Sagittarius are ruled by Jupiter. That's happy-go-lucky planet. It's the planet of good luck. Right now it's in Scorpio for a year, all you lucky Scorpios. And for Sagittarius, that means that you're going to have good luck in work. So you're going to really enjoy that. Jupiter is a big, bulky planet. It's way out there. So remember what I said, that, you know, whenever you have those big, bulky planets changing signs, it changes a new chapter in your life. Yay. So Jupiter is in Scorpio. It just went in there a month ago, and it's going to be there for a whole year. So then next November, all you Sagittarius are going to get your reward finally, because you deserve it. You know why? You put up with Pluto from 1996 to 2007. That's 17 years of hell. And then you had Saturn in there for the last 2 years. And that would go for Geminis too, because Gemini is the opposition of Sag. So you poor babies, but you did it. December 19th, you're out, and you can relax now. So next year, Sagittarius and Geminis will get Jupiter. So I want you to go out and play the Powerball all you can and enjoy yourself, because you get it for a whole year. And Jupiter only transits every 12 years. So the last time Scorpios, you Scorpios out there, got it, it was around, 12 from 17 is, 2005 you got it. And so when Sagittarius get it next year, think back what was going on in 2006, and it will mimic that. Okay? So, good news for Sagittarius. And then the Capricorns will get Jupiter the following year, so if we're still alive. Anyway, that's it for, the astrology. I'm going to go into the personal questions now, and I'll try to read the monitor if I can. It's kind of going fast, so I can't, but if I can see some questions, I will be bringing them up. Hi, Jessica. Hope you're doing well. Okay, first of all, first question we got was from Dave from Alexandria, Virginia. Okay, and he wants to know, how can you tell if a psychic is good? That's a good question. How I do it, Dave, is that what I tell people is that when you get a psychic reading, it should fit like a good coat. When you put on a coat, you know it's right, it fits well, it feels snug, it keeps you warm, it feels good, then that means that you've had a really good psychic reading, and you can best bet that the information you got was accurate. If the coat does not fit well after the psychic reading, it was not good. It was not accurate. And usually we can tell in our gut because we do know what's about to happen before it happens. So, subconsciously we do know. We wrote some of our script before we came here, unfortunately. So we do know on a subconscious level what is going to occur. You look at parts in history, how did they know that? Look at Joan of Arc, and she was audible on top of it. So, in a sense, we do know what's going to occur, but it's in our subconscious mind. So when a psychic, a good one, hits on things, it resonates. You know that that the person is on track. Another good way is check the psychic and see how many people come back to her or him. If they don't come back, well, what does that tell you? They're not hitting on anything. The other thing you want to watch out with a good psychic is that you want prediction. Why are you there? You want to know what's going to happen, right? You don't want philosophical goobaglash. You want a psychic to tell you what's going to occur in your life and no messing around. The other big thing is if a psychic is asking you a lot of questions, get the hell out of there. Or they want you to bring them things for spells, or they hold up an egg and say this is your bad luck. That's a gypsy. Do not go to gypsies. And usually you can tell a gypsy by they'll have a name like Madame Linda or Miss Susie, or and they have neon signs all night. You can walk in anytime. You just want to watch out for those. The other thing you want to watch out for is very glossy websites that have 1 million reviews, because most of the time they just make up the reviews. But the real glossy websites that just brag and brag and brag and brag, a good psychic doesn't have to brag. People are going to come back. So the glossy websites you want to watch out for. The fact that you never get to talk to the psychic before you have the reading, that's a big one. I always call people back. I make my own appointments. That way you can get to hear my voice and you can see if I resonate with you. But you want to watch out for psychics that don't call you back before the appointment. So those are a couple things. The other thing I want to say, and I'm not panning anybody that has different degrees, but you want to watch out for some that have letters after their name, you know, LSW, psychologist, PhD, blah, blah. Those aren't the best to go to for psychic readings. Usually psychics are natural, or they've learned their craft from a nemesis or a muse. You know, like I have a couple people that I'm training right now. So you've either learned it from another psychic that's sharing their information with you, or you could have been born with the veil over your face. That's another cue that you're very psychic. Or you could be like me, and I was born a twin with my sister Kathy. We were very psychic. We could tell our parents what races to play when they went to the racetrack, and they got some money. So, I mean, we don't do it now, but, you know, I mean, we didn't know what we were doing, but we were picking horses. But at any rate, watch out with people that call themselves psychics, and they have, you know, the letters after the names. What I find, and I'm not saying all of you, but there are an awful lot I find, because I call psychics, and I can tell what's real and what isn't. I think a lot of them are psychologists or psychiatrists or social workers that aren't really making it in their craft, and they're coming over to the bandwagon of metaphysics. And how you can tell is that they will start life coaching you or giving you philosophy, or they will start psychoanalyzing you instead of giving you prediction. You want prediction. That's what a psychic does. You know? You don't want to know, you know, why you don't like animals. I mean, that's not why you're calling a psychic. You can go to a psychologist for that. But I do find a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists are getting on the psychic bandwagon now, because maybe they're just not getting enough people to psychoanalyze, but they can stay in their craft and just don't get hoodwinked. If you don't like your reading, you do have a right to say you don't like it. Now, I have a lot of people on my Facebook page that are very good. You know, some of the names are Marcy Kay. Cy Graffio is a wonderful astrologer. JAN1 Paul DeCoco is excellent. Katie Keesley is great. You know, so you can get some of their names off if you want to try somebody else. They're on my Facebook page. But those are just a few things to answer Dave. I didn't mean to write a book on it, but you know, I hate to see people waste their money, and I hate to see people get chipped, you know, so those are just a few examples, you know, especially the people that ask you too many questions. They shouldn't be asking you any questions. They should be telling you what's going to happen, okay? Olga from Maryland, she's a Scorpio. She wants to know what her job is like in 2008. Hi, Kendra. Olga, you're a Scorpio. You got Jupiter in there for a year, girl. You're going to have a great job within 2 months of this year. Now, Jupiter's going to help you with that. So use Jupiter. Play the Powerball. Do anything that Jupiter can assist you with. You had it in 2005. What was going on then, Olga? Because it's going to duplicate that, okay? Maybe you got a great job then. All right? So play the Powerball. If you're near a casino, you know, use Jupiter. Take it a few shots. Now, what I want to tell you, just what I'm picking up with you, Olga, is that you've got to kind of strengthen your interview skills a little. Because I kind of see you going in and going, yeah, my name is Olga, and yeah, I can do that. You got to sell yourself more. I really get that with you. The next interview you go on, you sell yourself. Tell them you can do anything. Tell them why you are going to be an asset to them, the company. Sell yourself. And when you do, and you're going to have Jupiter there. Oh, and before you go into any job interview, all of you should know this. Put pink light around the room that you're going to go into. Pink light is the color of the other side. So before you go into an interview, just dazzle it with pink glittery light. And so when you do go into the interview, the person will have a softened heart toward you. Or if there's more. I did that on an interview once, and the lady told me that she said, I don't know why, but this is the best interview I've ever had. I didn't get the job, but she told me it was the best interview she's ever had. And I know because she was feeling that, that heart chakra opening up. That's what happens when you spread pink light around. And if you have a boss that you're not getting along with, shoot, everyone knows I tell them this. You've heard this for 45 years from me. Shoot pink light to the person, to their heart, and it will soften their heart. I got a raise that way. I did. And I got to go to Las Vegas because every time I saw my boss and she was hell on wheels, I shot that woman pink light. And one day she called me in her office and said, I won a prize to Las Vegas. So I took my friend Marcy and we had fun. So try it. Try the pink light. It works. It's a little Wicca thing, and it works. The other thing you can do before you go into an interview, a job interview, is also put white light around yourself. And that will protect you from any negativity. So it will bounce right back off to the other people if they're in a bad mood. Hi, Donna. I hope you're getting better. We sent you a lot of healing today. And Craig. Okay. What's the scariest experience you've ever had as a psychic? Vicky from Maryland. I think, Vicky, you probably want me to talk about apparitions and ghosts and things like that. I have seen them, but I'm not scared of them. I'd say the scariest thing I had happen to me as a psychic was when I was like 22 years old. I had a little apartment in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and I had a couple come in. And what I would do is I would sit in the kitchen and I would do my readings, and I'd put a radio in the living room so people couldn't hear what I was telling them. And I did a reading for the lady, and the gentleman sat outside, and I thought the radio was loud enough, and I proceeded with the reading, and I told the lady that unfortunately her husband was cheating, and I described the woman and blah, blah, blah. And then unfortunately, the husband heard every word because I guess he was listening at the door. And so he went into a horrible, terrible, terrible trauma. And he started throwing everything in my apartment on the floor. And I mean, it was horrible. I mean, he just raided my apartment, just destroyed everything. So I didn't have time to call the police even. He just went on a rage. And I mean, that kind of condemns you, doesn't it, in a way? Kind of tells you that it was right. So anyway, I got them out of the apartment. I just asked them to leave. I didn't, ask them to leave. And as the lady was moving out of the door, she turns back to me and says, "You were right about him cheating. I've known that for 5 years." Oh, jeez. I had to pay big for that one. Destroyed a lot of my stuff. So, yeah, that would be the scariest thing. I'm sorry it wasn't a ghost story or anything like that. I ain't afraid of no ghost. So, okay, prosperity for Kathy in Colorado. you're a Capricorn. So remember what I was saying about Capricorn for the baby. You've had it just like with me. Kathy's my twin. Kathy, I see a move coming for you. And, you know, with Jupiter coming in a year or two, that's going to really help you with the move. So I think you're going to move. I really get that strong. I think it could happen in the next, you could start getting the hit in the next 4 months. And I think it's going to be something that appears very suddenly to you. You won't, you know, like one day you look on the multiple listings and it's not there, and the next day it's there. And I don't think it's going to be really that far away from where you're living. As far as prosperity, you've got to start thinking a little bit more positive about your prosperity. And I notice we have a lot of prosperity questions, so I might as well give you some hints right now. Frankincense, incense is very good in attracting prosperity, Kathy. So buy some frankincense incense. And then those little cloves that you put in hams, you know, those little cloves, get some of those at the grocery store, put it in a little satchel, and hang it right over your door, the front door that you come in. I guarantee you, you will see a flow of money, energy, and prosperity within a few days. So get the little ham cloves, put it in a satchel, nail it above your front door. It works. Now the biggest thing that works, and I know a lot of you I've told this to, especially Katya. You get a green candle, it doesn't matter what size, 9 inches fine. Cut it in 7 notches, one for every week. You know, one day for every day of every week. And burn every notch at the same time every day or night. And when you burn the notch, and you're going to be burning that for 7 days, for a whole week, burn the notch and say, Danny, help me. Liber, help me. Danny is D-A-N-I. Liber is L-I-B-E-R. Those are the angels for prosperity. And you do that, you say, Danny, help me. Liber, help me. And then you say, money, money, come my way. Don't delay another day. And then when you burn the notch every day, you visualize how you're going to spend all this money that you're going to get. And this does work. And I know my dad once teased me about it. He said, all right, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if it works. And the next day and then the next morning, he walks out to his car and there was $100 bill laying there. So he calls me up at work and he says, Cyndi, it worked. I got $100 like that. So it does work. I have a lot of people that call me back and go, wow, that works. So try that, Kathy, and see what happens. And another thing, people, is that, you know, don't keep saying, I'm so poor, I'm so poor. Think like Oprah Winfrey, you know? And pretend you're rich. Pretend every day that if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? What would you do with it? You know? Think, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. And the universe will hear you because it's a mindless universe and it does listen. So if you keep saying, I'm poor, I'm poor, I'm poor, the universe thinks that's what you want. So you've got to start changing your mindset and the language that you language your mind with. So start that. That might be a good New Year's resolution now to start saying every day, I'm rich. It's a mantra, you know. And if Oprah can do it, we all can, because God does not deprive us of money. We do it to ourselves. So, okay, Christina is an Aquarius. Will I get a job in 2018? Okay, you're an Aquarian. Remember what I told you, that you're ruled by Uranus. Uranus, your ruler, is going to change in May. That's a new chapter for you. So yeah, I would say the 4th and 5th month this year, you're in something that you really, really love. And I think it might have something to do with maybe medical, something to do with it. Not necessarily a doctor or nurse, but I'm kind of feeling the medical field. So let me know how you do. But the answer is definitely. And with that changing of Aquarius, of the Uranus changing in May, you're going into a whole new chapter for the next 7 years. So that's the good news. What is the best stone for me? That's Sheila. She's a Cancer. I would say off the bat, rhodochrosite. That's kind of a pinkish stone. I'm feeling that maybe you've just gone through a death. So rhodochrosite is very good for healing, especially mourning, grief. And if Shirley's watching, you want to go get a rhodochrosite necklace, because that would help you out a lot. Well, I just mentioned Shirley and her name comes up, so how about that? How can you tell if your loved ones are on the other side? Well, that's a really good question. And she's from Minnesota. You can tell through signs. You can ask for signs. Perhaps you are asking for a penny, for a sign or a feather. I know for my late husband, I always asked for feathers. And once in the winter, I asked for a rose, and it was in the winter. So you know that you're not going to get a rose in the winter. And sure enough, I saw a white rose off a tree, a rose bush. So you can ask for signs, and they hear you and they'll do it. They love to do electrical things, like play with your lights or do something in the kitchen. But that's after they've been on the other side. The soul has been on the other side for a long time. They can start doing things with TV sets, turning them off and on. And by the way, Shirley, Dave has that same rose for you this morning also, and is in the nice suit that he was in yesterday. So he's bringing a lot of love your way right now. When do children stop seeing the other side? Another very good question. I would say at 5 years old, the veil closes down. So there's an old story about a little boy that goes into the bedroom of his newly born baby brother, and he crouches over the crib side and he whispers. The parents heard him whisper to the little baby, can you tell me what it's like on the other side? Because I've forgotten. And he was like around 8. So around 5, the veil closes down, because if the veil didn't close down, we wouldn't want to be here on the earth plane. We would see this wondrous world on the other side, and we would want to, be there. So it has to close down sometime so we can do our karma and our life here on the earth plane. So I would say 5 years old is when the veil closes down, and you just forget about the other side until you go back. But now that's another thing where if mothers know that about their children, they can prolong the psychic end of it. Now, my mother, I was born a twin, so that was psychic anyway. But my mother prolonged it by playing with our imaginary friends. Kathy and I always had imaginary friends, and my mother would she would egg that on. She would play with us. I remember once we were on a train and she made lunches or a little snack for the other people on the train. To me and Kathy, they were real. But she kind of played along with us with that. And I know when I was 12, she built me a little altar downstairs so I could meditate. So if you have parents that are open to the psychic realm and all that, they can really help children. I want to write a book one day about how we can help our children become more psychic. Because in Russia, the children are very psychic. They start at a very young age. Why were the last 2 years of my life so horrendous? That's William in Arlington, Virginia, and he's a Sag. Oh boy, you had Saturn and Sag, that's all I can say. And you're over it now. You're over it, William. No more. You're going to get a rest now, and then you'll get Jupiter next year. But you had Saturn and Sag, and that's one of the heavy hitters, and it, it's depressing. It rules Capricorn, and it's depressing. So, but what it does do is it helps you with work. You might have gotten a new job. It keeps you on task. It's like having a drill sergeant around you. It's a master planet. It rules mastery. Capricorns rules mastery. So anybody that is a Capricorn probably won't have too many or any lifetimes on the earth after this. Jesus was a Capricorn, so it's a mastery sign. I feel stuck. What's going to happen in 2008? That's Sherry. I can't remember what sign you are, Sherry. I think you're a Scorpio. Some of these people I recognize. I do see you moving next year, and it's going to be a place by the water, not where you're living already. And I think you're going to meet, if you haven't met already, a wonderful guy in the summer. So I think your life is going to start moving. Remember, you have Jupiter in Scorpio. How lucky. So use it to your best health and prosperity, because you have it for a whole year. My boyfriend broke off with me 2 months ago. Will he come back? That's Alan in Maryland. I think you're going to hear from him in 2 months from now. And it's going to be up to you whether you want him back or not. You may not want him. You may start thinking about why the situation broke up. You may not want him back. So I think 2 months from now, you'll hear. I thought I bought my greatest dream house, but it's become a money pit. Will I sell it soon? That's Tracy, and she's a Pisces. No, I think you're going to be in there for a while, unfortunately. But I think that when you do sell, years from now, you will, gain a lot. So I'd stick it out. I think it's a good investment. And that's why you got it. It wasn't necessarily to be the home of your dreams like you thought, but it's going to be a good investment. I know there's good things about being psychic. What are some of the bad things? That's Alan from Fredericksburg, Virginia. I would say one of the worst things, Alan, is that you do lose your physical sight because your third eye opens up through meditation. That's how you develop psychically. And when your third eye opens up, your two physical eyes get worse. I'm blind in one eye and the other eye ain't so great. So, but I wouldn't give that up. I'm happy that my third eye opened. And one day in meditation, you will see the third eye open up. You actually will see an eyeball staring at you. And it's a great thing. It's great to see that eyeball. It's real. You'll see the veins in it. It looks real. It kind of scares you at first. But that's when your third eye opens up, and it's right here. It's a pineal gland. Everybody has it, by the way. Everybody can be psychic. Everyone has a sixth sense. The gifts that I have go unto you, Jesus said in the Bible, and that's true. Every gift that Jesus has, we all can adhere to and accept for ourselves. So that's a very good question. But I would say the eyes, the physical eyesight, losing that is the worst. But the gift you gain with the third eye is the best. Finances, will I recover? Anne, Virginia. I think you're a Scorpio, Anne. I think you are. That's what I get. Yes, you will. Start doing some of the things that I told Kathy, and you're going to prosper. Get those ham cloves over your door. Get some incense, frankincense, incense, and start burning that green candle. And stop thinking you're poor. And I would say by the last 2 weeks in March, things are heading into a new direction. And I don't see things breaking down in your house as much. I think the worst of that is over. Did you write that money pit thing about the house? So we have 2 people that have money pits. Anyway, you're a Scorpio, you have Jupiter in there. How lucky can you be? What was going on in 2005? Because it's going to mimic that. Enjoy it until you get to November of next year. And play the Powerball. Gamble. Do it. Jesse's a Libra. When will I get married? I would look to the 4th month of 2018, Jesse, where you start really talking about marriage and planning it. So I hope I get an invitation. Keenan. Hi, Keenan. Keenan, I think you're from Virginia. Will I get a new job and move to Ohio? You're an Aquarian. Remember I told you your whole chapter is going to change? In Aquarius, you're going to get Uranus. Yes, sir. I see you moving to Ohio and getting a great job, and I think you'll be in management of some kind. So do the move. And you're going to have Uranus in there. Your ruler will be in Taurus. So you're going to get a new home. And if you do anything with investments, they should be kind of like a roller coaster, sometimes up, sometimes down. So don't do too much in the stock market. But real estate would be great for you. And you're going to be near your family because Taurus moves family. So yeah, it's going to be a good year for you, Keenan. How can I see my dreams more clearly? You can buy Herkimer diamonds and put them under your pillow. Herkimer diamonds are really pretty. They look like clear crystals. You can get some mugwort. You can get mugwort from any herb place and put it under your pillow, and that will enhance your dreams more. Mugwort is great. And then there's an old wives' tale that says that if you put a cup of water half full by your bed and put a rose quartz there, you will enhance your dreams more. So those are some ways to enhance your dreams. Now, lucid dreaming is great. Now, it's kind of tricky. I have a friend down the hallway that does it great. He can do it really well, Adam. But what you try to do is when you go to sleep at night, you try to tell yourself before you go to sleep that you will wake up at some point in the night, but you won't wake up fully. Now, you have to try this for a while because it's hard. Because a lot of people wake up, but they wake up fully. But I think Adam has gotten it down to where you wake up as much as you are in a dream. So what you want to do before you go to sleep is that you want to tell yourself, I want to wake up in a dream. I want to wake up in one of my dreams, but I don't want to wake up fully. And you will, and you could either be astral projecting at that time when you wake up, or you can participate in that dream, and you will be living in the dream and it will feel real. So try that. Try the Herkimer diamonds, try the mugwort, try the half a glass of water with the rose quartz, and also the lucid dreaming. Why did my marriage fail with David? That's from Marlene, and she's from Baltimore, Maryland. Let's see, you're a Cancer. So you're going to get in that opposition of Pluto, unfortunately, till 2023. You might have had a lot of losses in the last couple years, like Capricorns did. Also, you have 4 children. That's what I see. I see 4 kids around you. So I think some of that romance went out the window when all the kids came, unfortunately. You know, kids are great and all, but, you know, you don't get a lot of time with romance when you have a lot of kids. So I think that was a big one. I would say that, I don't know if you've tried marriage counseling, but you might want to give that a shot. I don't think it's all lost, but I would say that the problems with the kids made a real big dent in the marriage. So good luck to you, and maybe you could try the marriage counseling. I think you might have a shot at that. I don't see David going out completely out of your life. Lady in Maryland, should I move? Yeah, I think you should. I think you need some fresh energy. So I think a move would be good. So I would say, yeah. Well, that's all the questions that I have. I don't see any on the prompters going on, but we're going to do this again next month, and I hope to have a guest. I'm thinking of inviting Cygrafio. He's a really great astrologer out in California, so I think it would be fun with a guest. And I'm going to try to do this every month, so please text me your questions. Text me at 301-831-8947 or goldicyn, GOLDICYN, at AOL.com, and ask me any question and give me your first name and your sign. And if you would like an hour reading from me or half hours, I do many different types of readings. I do mediumship, I do tarot, I do healings, I do Reiki, I do soul retrieval, I do all kinds of different readings in tarot, psychometry. So if you would like a reading with me, again, 301-831-8947, and goldicyn, GOLDICYN, at AOL.com. Thank you for spending the New Year's Day with me. I'm so blessed to have you as friends, and I'm wishing you the very best in 2018. Namaste, Shalom, and Aho, Dosha, Aho. I love you. God bless.